Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Camo, and I'm going to talk about values, beliefs, and norms. Now, within any given culture, you're going to find values, beliefs, and norms. Values are culture standard for discerning what is good and just and right in a society. Now, beliefs are tenets or convictions that people hold to be true. And norms are the visible or invisible rules of conduct through which societies are structured. Now, the beliefs in society are shaped by the values. Whatever the society values sort of emanates and becomes manifest in those specific beliefs. And those beliefs and values then shape the expected norms of behavior in the society. So let's give an example to illustrate this. If you've ever walked down a hallway and you've walked up to a door and opened it, and you looked and you noticed there was someone a few paces behind you, I think we all understand that the thing you're supposed to do is hold the door for the person. Now, whether you stand there and hold and let them go first, or you go through the door and just hold it long enough so that they don't have to have it slam in front of their face. Either way, we all kind of understand that's kind of a thing we do, right? So let's look at that in terms of the values, the beliefs, and the norms that inform that. Now, the societal value there is thoughtfulness. You should think of other people, right? That we value as a society that people should be thoughtful towards those around us. The belief that emanates from this is a belief that we should be considerate of people we encounter, the people around us. Now, those values and beliefs bring about this expected norm that if someone's walking behind you, you hold the door open for them. That is the norm, the expected behavior. Now, this set of values, norms, and beliefs I've just identified isn't just being nice for the sake of being nice. It has a functional utility in society. Because if you have large numbers of people living together in a city or a town or a community, those people all have competing interests. We're all trying to get to work, do what we need to do. But if we're all just blindly pursuing those interests without thinking of others, that can bring about conflict. So a societal value is thoughtfulness because we understand that in order to avoid conflict, or at least minimize it, people need to think of others and sometimes put others before them, at least in some limited capacity. So that value of thoughtfulness is a way to help minimize conflict, buffer interactions. And what comes from that is a belief that you should help people and be kind and hold doors for people. And the norm of behavior that's expected from that is if someone's walking behind you, hold the door, don't let it slam in their face. These things all connect. Let's say someone is walking down the hall behind you, but they're a good 50 paces behind you. We all know that they are now in what we call the awkward zone, where if you hold the door open for them, they look at you with an awkward smile and then realize that they have to kind of hurry, otherwise they're going to keep you waiting, and it creates this awkward situation, and you would have just been better to let the door shut. That sort of awkward interaction has sort of a different but related sense of values, beliefs, and norms. Thoughtfulness is still the value in play, but the belief is if you put someone in an awkward situation, that's not being thoughtful, that you shouldn't put people in awkward situations that they have to deal with. So the norm is, if someone is way behind you in the hall, don't stand there and hold the door open and make them feel like they have to hurry because you have then put them in an awkward situation. As you can see, there's all kinds of nuance with these cultural norms, values, and beliefs. Now, when we look at norms, we can further divide those into folkways, mores, and taboos. Now, folkways are norms that are sort of minor in nature. They're things that we're taught we should do, but they're not vital to society working. For example, holding that door open is sort of a folkway. It's something you should do, but if you let the door slam in the face of the person behind you, they're going to think you're a jerk, but you're not probably going to end up in a fight or going to prison for it unless you really slam it in their face. Mores are much more significant norms, however. Let's say you did let that door slam in the face of the person behind you, and they got really mad and started yelling at you, and you all get into a fight, and one of you punched the other one, and you had an assault charge, and you went to prison. Well, that would be a more you violated. Mores are much more significant norms that are important to the functioning of society. Things like prohibitions against assault and theft and robbery and all those kinds of things you can think of. Now, taboos are those unthinkable things we don't even really want to talk about. I'll just give one example. Cannibalism. right? That is not a thing that we even want to imagine or think about. So again, folkways, mores, and taboos are these expected norms of behavior or things that we shouldn't do in some cases that are increasingly severe as you go down the line from folkways to mores and taboos. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.